Hi, I'm Scott London, candidate for Hood County Sheriff, and I wanted to talk today about some contemporary issues. Last Monday, at the candidate forum hosted by the Chamber of Commerce, they asked the question, what is the biggest obstacle facing public safety in Hood County? My answer was that we are not even discussing. We are completely ill-prepared for those things that we're not even having conversations about because we don't even realize what the problems are. And so, what are some of those problems? Well, just 2 days later, on Wednesday, the Butler County Sheriff, Rick Jones, held a press conference. And in that press conference, he talked about how he and some other sheriffs from the National Sheriff's Association had a meeting with the director of the FBI. In that meeting, they were discussing some imminent attacks on small-town America. They also discussed ongoing attacks. These are things that are already going on in America. There are foreign entities that are attacking not just cyber attacks, but they're attacking the electric grid and telecommunications grids here in the United States already. Now, they went a little bit further and they said they're also discussing the open border, that invasion that's going on in our southern border thanks to the Biden administration. And in a best case scenario, many of those immigrants may simply be looking for a better place. Now, we're ill prepared for that. But that's not even what he was talking about. He was talking about a worst case scenario. The fact is, we don't know who's coming across that border and what their intentions are. There are many across the world who hate America. And quite honestly, some of those coming across that Mexican border, most of them are no longer Mexican nationals. These are people from other places in the world that are simply coming through on our southern border, and we don't know what their intentions are. We are absolutely ill-prepared to deal with any type of attack from these foreign invaders. Now, Sheriff Butler, he also talked in that press conference about how he and some other sheriffs went overseas to visit places that had been physically attacked by foreign invaders. And you know what? One thing they discovered was the best defense was local law enforcement. So now let me ask you a question. How prepared are our local law enforcement agencies to deal with a foreign attack in small-town America? Oddly enough, last year, shortly after I announced that I was running for sheriff, I had a gentleman approach me, and he asked about the possibility of creating a sheriff's posse. And what he was talking about was a group of volunteers that are willing to step up and help out the sheriff in our hour of need. Now, the problem becomes that the Hood County Sheriff's Posse already exists. And the Hood County Sheriff's Posse is, like many sheriff posses across the nation, they're a 501c3. A lot of us, when we think of a sheriff's posse, we think of, the sheriff calling them a group of citizens saying, hey, let's go catch that fugitive that's on the lam. And that's really not what the sheriff's posse's function is. So we talked a little bit further. He says, well, what about like a sheriff's militia? The term militia alone carries a certain connotation with it. And, well, in the Texas Constitution, it actually says that any state militia falls under the governor. The governor is the commander-in-chief of all state militia. So that's really not addressing what he was talking about either. And then it was suggested, well, what about reserve officers? Well, the Texas Commission on Law Enforcement already regulates the certification and licensing of reserve officers. They actually have to be a fully certified peace officer, just like our full-time deputies. So there again, that's not going to address what we're talking about. And so as I think about it, I'm thinking, so how could we get a pre-vetted list of local citizens who are willing to step out and help in our hour of need? Well, it just so happens that in the Texas Code of Criminal Procedure, Article 2, Section 14, says that when a peace officer meets resistance in the discharge of their duties, they can summons the citizens of the county to help overcome the resistance. Now, wouldn't it be wise to plan ahead and have a pre-vetted list of citizens who are willing to step up to help overcome resistance? Might even be a good community outreach opportunity to, have some coordinated training with local law enforcement in that pre-vetted list of volunteers that are willing to come and help out. And so these are some things that I would like to see happen to help prepare Hood County for, God forbid, an event that I pray never happen. And we have people in Hood County who who are willing and wanting to step up and be available to help us if the worst case scenario comes right here home to us. So let's remember that early voting starts on February 20th and Election Day is March 5th. Be sure and go out and vote. And I pray that you vote Scott London for Hood County Sheriff. Thank you.